I want to talk to you about having a calm Christmas, having a joyful Christmas, because a lot of the time, certainly for me, I had this expectation that Christmas would be this wonderful time, would be this incredible time, filled with joy and magic. But more often than not, sadly, my Christmases felt stressful, overwhelming. I felt unappreciated by those around me. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. And I just thought it was time to change that. I am Elizabeth from the Joyful Garden. It is my mission to help mums create gardens that bring them and their families joy. And this is Archie, who's just having a little chew. So, Christmas. I think Christmas is the most magical time. I think Christmas is the most wonderful time. And it has so much potential to just be this incredible, incredible thing. But I think too often we get so sucked into what other people want from us and doing all the things we feel we should be doing that we don't create a Christmas that is meaningful to us and meaningful to our families, which is why I'm starting a challenge called the 10 Calm Minutes. And the challenge is to spend 10 minutes in your garden every day in the run up to Christmas. So from the 24th of November until the 24th of December, I want you to go into the garden every day for 10 minutes and just enjoy the garden, just slow down and just really focus on the world around you, because I think that will bring you so much joy and contentment, and it'll also make you see all of the things that are normally part of your Christmas that might not be bringing you joy. And I think that could be really magical. So excuse me. The thing that started all of this for me is quite a few years ago, my precious little girl was really suddenly really unwell. So unwell that she needed to go to hospital, she needed to have lots of operations. She was in intensive care on a ventilator, in a coma for a week. And then when she came out of it, she was in the hospital for another 3. And it was just one of those moments in life that made me realize how little time and attention I was focusing on living a life that was meaningful to my children and to me, and instead just doing what I thought I should do and meeting everybody else's expectations, everybody outside of our little finger family of my husband and my 2 kids and now Archie. You know, we're so busy meeting everybody else's expectations, and it wasn't making them happy, and it certainly wasn't making us happy. You know, even the people whose expectations I was trying to meet, it still wasn't enough for them. So my daughter being ill started me on this kind of journey of starting to notice that I was doing a lot of things that weren't making anyone happy. And, you know, it wasn't an instantaneous fix. It was just the thing that started me on that journey, because I did realize that while my daughter was in hospital, that really, so long as she's fine and so long as my son are healthy, I have everything I need to be happy. But of course she came home and now she's fine, but it wasn't quite as simple as that, because all these outside pressures still started pushing in again. And I did think about calling this, you know, Calm Christmas, a guide for women who were raised to be nice, because I'm sure you were too. That's probably why you're here. Raised to be nice, raised to meet everybody else's expectations, raised to do what other people wanted us to do, and not raised to listen to our own inner voices and figure out our boundaries and live by those. So I think this is a special challenge for those of us, you and me, who were raised to just please other people all the time. So it's a lot of unlearning that had to happen. And like I said, my daughter being unwell was the first step in that, but it still took some time. It took a lot of reading, it took a lot of learning about boundaries and thinking about what that could look like. And then COVID happened, and all of a sudden we were forced to just be the 4 of us. We didn't have Archie at the time. And we were forced to spend Christmases together, just the 4 of us. And you know what? It was so lovely. It was so magical. It was slow. It was calm. Nobody was judging the children for opening the presents too quickly. Nobody was judging me for how the children were dressed. Nobody was you know, it was just a judgment-free, happy, calm, slow place. And so now that's what we do. We always spend Christmas just the four of us. Christmas Day is just us. And even the days around it, we don't travel anymore. We just do it. Just so it's just us. But as I said, you know, this has been a really long process, and it's been a lot of learning boundaries, and it's a lot of thinking about what did and didn't bring us joy. And the reason that I think being in the garden can be really magical in this process of figuring out what brings you joy in the run up to Christmas is it's just such a slow, lovely place. And I don't want you to going into the garden thinking you have to tidy it up or that it's just another place to have a to-do list. No, this is really just about being in the garden for 10 minutes. Bring a cup of tea. Actually, I'm not loving this tea. Do you have any recommendations for really nice Christmas tea? Christmas tea? I would love you to leave that in the comments. You know, just go into the garden and just be. Maybe you get a bird feeder and then you watch the little birds come and go from your bird feeder, knowing that you've made a difference to this little creature in this cold, hard time of year for them. Or you just bring out a blanket and a cup of tea and you just sit and you just enjoy that time. And I promise you, there's something so magical about being in nature and just being, not doing, watching the little birds come and go, watching the wind brush through the grass, watching the twinkly lights in your garden, whatever it might be. Just sit and just connect with nature and with yourself, and you will gain so much clarity about what it is that brings you joy. And I want to really empower you to focus on that this Christmas season. Focus on what it is that brings you joy. Now, as I said, this is going to be a challenge that runs from the 24th of November until the 24th of December. You can follow me along on my Instagram, which is The Joyful Garden, or you can head over to my website called joyfulgarden, all one word, .co.uk. There's a little link there to this challenge, the 10 calm minutes. I am also working on a calm Christmas workbook. You can see I'm still working on a few things. It has lots of different prompts, lots of different ideas, ways to get you to connect with what it is that brings you joy. You know, it has little prompts, questions that you can fill out, like when you think back to your childhood, what made you feel Christmassy? Prompts to talk to your family about what it is, you know, your finger family, your kids and your husband, your partner, what it is that brings them joy. It has this thing about the different aspects of Christmas and which of those are really important to you, and maybe prompts you to let go of some things that aren't. So for example, looking at this thing here, something that is really important to me is decorations. I go nuts at Christmas. And magic. I love creating a magical feeling for my children. But something that's not so important to me is the food. Now, don't get me wrong, I love good food, I love it, but it doesn't need to be home cooked. So one thing that we've let go of over the years is that we don't cook everything from scratch on Christmas Day. We buy a lot of stuff pre-made. Sorry, that's Archie heading out into the garden. We buy a lot of stuff pre-made on Christmas Day. So it saves us having to rush around and do all the cooking, because we can focus on spending time together as a family, because that is what is important to us. And another thing is presents. As a finger family, we decided presents aren't that important to us. Now, don't get me wrong, the kids get presents and they probably get way too many. But my husband and I, we don't give each other presents. The adults in the family and the extended family, we don't give each other presents, because it actually turned out that for all of us it was just a burden. So there are just lots of different ways that you can trim down your to-do list, and hopefully my Calm Christmas workbook will help you and inspire you to do that. Now, the ways to get your hand on it, it's not quite ready yet, but I'm hoping it will be by the 24th. You can leave me a comment and I will make sure to get it to you when it's ready, or you can head over to my website, joyfulgarden.co.uk, head to the Christmas section on that, and it'll be available there on Friday the 24th. Thank you. Bye.